Windy Arbor here, back from the hotel, and this is a miniature rose that I borrowed from a friend. You can see that it has some blooms coming up here that are red, and I borrowed it to make the video on it because I have a long history with roses. I've grown them for a long time, and I'll always grow them because roses are just iconic and everybody likes them. So this one's miniature in a pot, and it came from a big box store. And first care pointer for me is keeping these nice and moist. So you feel the soil here, this one's nice and watered, but up to about your second knuckle, if you stick it down into the soil and it's dry, you definitely need to water it. These like to be a little bit moist. Second is light. Give it a really good amount of light, a nice south-facing window. The more light, probably the better for these. Nextly, they like to get fertilized, but be very careful because fertilization can burn the roots on these plants. So these are considered a heavy feeder, which means they like to be fertilized often. But if you're using pellets or anything else, you have to be careful because the roots will burn. You'll see all the leaves and stuff will get brown and die off, and that's probably, if you're watering well, you can know that your fertilization is not correct. And that's a hard thing to come back from because the roots are the lifeblood of your plant. So as soon as you mess those up, you're pretty well done for. Nextly, I normally don't talk about this on soil, but it's the acidity. Roses like the soil to be slightly acidic with a higher pH. So a trick that I use is putting a little bit of coffee grounds on top of the soil, and that'll increase the pH. You don't want to do it too often, but you can do it probably once a month, and I think you can definitely see some results from putting the coffee grounds in there. So as you can see, coming to the flowers, we have a couple coming up, and you want to deadhead these, which I just did. I didn't record it, but deadheading is when you have a flower coming up and it's just about done on its growth, you cut it off. And what that's going to do is stimulate the plant to grow more flowers for you. So as soon as the first batch comes up for the year, you probably want to deadhead it, and then you'll see an explosion of blooms. And that's how you get a really nice looking mini rose or any other kind of rose. These ones won't get huge because it's in a pot, but it's still really fun to grow. And roses are just equally iconic when you grow them in a pot. So they're really nice. Get a couple of these, put them on a trellis into a pot, and you'll have a bloom of roses once a year. And you can just keep them, and they'll grow again because roses are so expensive. Nobody likes to buy them pre-cut, and then they die. They never look that great, and then you're back at square one. So growing them is definitely an alternative, and it's so much fun, and it's very rewarding. One of the most rewarding plants you can grow. So thanks for checking in. This is Windy Arbor, and I'll catch you next time.